Russell, the greatest winner in American professional sports, passed away yesterday at age 88. Wilbon, we are old enough to have watched Russell play. What are your reflections on what he meant to his sport and beyond?
Well, Tony, it's interesting. I first thought of the beyond because I traveled yesterday morning, as you know. I came back to D.C. and I took a nap, and I was awakened by my 14-year-old son who said, "Dad, you got to wake up. Bill Russell died." And he knows in my house what I think of Bill Russell, in his house too. And just like in my house, basketball started when I was a kid with watching Bill Russell. And so that's been conveyed. And I'm trying to explain to a 14-year-old, and so we're not going to start with numbers. Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about, or try to talk about, the importance of the man, the impact he had on his sport, and, Tony, as you said, beyond. And I kind of started with the beyond, and I talked about what Bill Russell had to endure when he went on the road once, and he came back, and his home had been vandalized, right? And feces spread in parts of his home, in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And I talked about that and about the courage of convictions and what that meant for Bill Russell, and how none of today's athletes in any sport have to face what Bill Russell had to face, and how he got behind the fight against segregated schools in Boston, and some of the things that Bill Russell stood for. And I tried to come back to basketball, and I don't know what part of this sunk in. But, Tony, I needed to go over it myself because I was a kid. I was a little kid. I was 4th and 5th and 6th grade when Bill Russell was at the apex of his career. And it's just
so
it's
I was older.
astonishing.
I'll stay with basketball for a second, just for a second. And I think it's important to say this so people understand that we understand perspective. Nobody will say Bill Russell is the greatest basketball player ever. Nobody will say that. He has the greatest resume ever. He's got an Olympic gold medal. He's got 2 college titles. He's got 11 NBA titles. Let me say that again, 11 NBA titles.